My glasses a certain type of way so people don't think I'm throwing up.
Welcome to TommyTruthful.com. I'm here with Brother Donut and Juan today. We're going to be getting into these archons and talking a little bit about them and how they're attacking the fourth and seventh chakra. We were just talking about that before, and we have many different kinds of archons. I know some of you guys seen the decode I did on it. Oh, whoa! I don't know what it just did back there, but oh, there we go. I'm putting in the wrong thing. Okay, so there it goes. I got my thing pulled up here. We'll get into that after we get going. Juan, do you have a presentation you said you had on these archons?
Yeah, dude, from September of 2020, dude. This is how long ago I was looking into this. I have a little presentation. I thought it'd be fun to bring it up just so we can talk about it. I just added some visuals because when I was doing this podcast, it was strictly just audio. You can pull it up there.
Here, I'll let you share the screen.
So this is from a show I used to do called The Juan Hour, and I named this episode Defeating the Archons, Simulation Argument, and AI because it all ties into all that, right, with the Gnostic cosmology. And so the Gnostics and the simulation hypothesis, and this episode was born actually from episode 1444 of JRE with Duncan Trussell because he had talked about the Archons and how they believe, the Gnostics believe, that we were being trapped in a world created by Yaldabaoth, the lion-headed serpent. And pretty much the Gnostics, they were early Christian sects. There was more than 50 of them. They all had crazy ideas. They were heretics. They were ruled heretics because they pretty much talked about how the Satan archetype was the one that created the world that we are in. And that's obviously very heretical. God created the universe, not this Satan archetype. So the Gnostics claim that the evidence comes from the imperfection, tragedy, and evil in our world. That good God could never have created it. So what I just mentioned, the Satan archetype created it. And I also talked about the Saturn time cube, which all plays a role into all this because a lot of people think that the demiurge is Saturn. And that's why there's the hexagon with the cube. You have the cube worship all over the world. You have the dudes that wear the cube on their head. You have all this crazy stuff. So yeah, for Yaldabaoth said, I am a jealous God and there is no other God besides
Them are
me.
Donut's cousins that wear the cube on their head. The crown chakra.
I forgot about that.
That's called tefillin.
Yeah,
Tefillin?
But
That's what
all
it's called?
religions do it. In Christianity, they have the unfolded cross. In Islam, they walk counterclockwise around the hypercube. I'm pretty sure all organized religion has been infiltrated by these little archons. And, they were created by Sophia, and she jumped into manifestation. She turned into the earth, and she created Yaldabaoth, and she jumped into manifestation without her male counterpart. And she got you. But if you read the old scriptures and look into the Gnostic text, and what's the one called, the Yahamadi? I'm probably pronouncing that.
Yeah, Mahabharata.
Yeah, that one too, but not that one. There's another one. I got it on my site. I'll show you in a minute. There was a creator god above Sophia that was like a male counterpart. So, I think
I have that here.
I think that's the real God.
This is the Gnostic cosmos. So this is a breakdown from the Gnostic cosmology, the way that they view the universe. So you have the upper eons up here, which is the metaphysical world. Then you have the lower eons, which is what we are in right now, the physical world. You have Adam and Eve down here. Now, the one, the source, that's these circles here, they're emanations of the one. So the one creates reality. And that's why the Greeks were emanationists. They believed that the source would emanate out reality. Now, you have Yaldabaoth here that came from the Trinity, the Father, which was thinking, consciousness. This is why, and this is my bread and butter. I started with the Gnostics. So thinking, they believe that consciousness came first. So the Father, masculine, and then you have the Mother, thought. And then the child, the Christ, plus Sophia, thinking a thought of itself, thinking. So that's how you get that Holy Trinity. And Yaldabaoth came forth from when Sophia, she wanted to bring it forth without the consent of the Father. So when she was cursed, because it was I have a picture of him. It was the lion-headed serpent, right? This is Yaldabaoth.
Yeah.
And he had a posse of demons, right? He had a posse
49 of them to be exact, Donut. He had
Mhm.
49 demons, and Antichrist is 49, and the whole thing with the Church of Satan in San Francisco, home of the 49ers.
Yeah, you have all that, and then his cronies, his demonic cronies, they were like, hey, which they also believe were the 7 planetary, right? You have the 7 planetary archons. The Gnostics believe that every single planet that you saw was a different demon, and every single celestial orbit was a different dimension. So when they came together, they were like, hey, dude, you have that divine spark within you. So let's create life. Let's create something in the image of the perfect. So this is the watery light. This is why it looks like water here. The upper eons is a reflection. That's why a lot of
Church murdered these people.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, like murdered them all. So they were on to something.
Yeah, and that's what I say. Like usually, we're in the truther community. When you're onto something, you usually get silence, right? And when you're saying some things, that's when they go after you, because you're going against you're going against the grain.
Pope Innocent did it.
Mm-hmm. And so here we have they create again Adam and Eve, and according to Gnostic cosmology, you have the serpent and you have the eagle in the Garden of Eden story, and the eagle was Yahweh. He wanted to Enlil, right? That's how you get the Anunnaki and all that stuff involved. And pretty much he didn't want you to eat from the tree of knowledge, because he didn't want you to learn that you were trapped in a simulation. And that's why he was angered. And when Eve ate from the tree and Adam, that's why they were kicked out of the garden, because he's like, hey, you guys are now going to know that you're in this simulation that I put you in, which was supposed to be some sort of experiment. And the serpent was Sophia. So that and again, that's according to Gnostic cosmology.
Now in the Anunnaki version of that, the serpent is Enki, who was the master geneticist, and he went to his favorite human and gave him plans to build a submersible, because Enlil wanted everybody to die, and they knew this flood was coming. So they said, we're going to go off planet, let the flood hit them, and start over, because now they're able to think for themselves. And Enki did something he wasn't supposed to do. He allowed us to procreate. He was never supposed to do that. From them stories, they say.
So the Gnostics use this as a talisman. By the way, you find this symbol on a lot of their rings. So they did worship this thing, and they also had a talisman of Abraxas, which is the chicken-headed god with the snakes for the tail, for the legs.
Jupiter Ascending. That's the name of the family that runs all the universes, the Abraxas family.
Yeah, again, Abraxas, and that's also equals 365, I think, in gematria or something like that, because Crowley talked about it a lot too, and that's where abracadabra comes from, essentially. And
a movie that Tommy you decoded, the Abraxas family was in that movie with
Jupiter Ascending. Yep. And the BL, the eldest son in that one, his name was BL. He represented Baal, Yaldabaoth. He was that archetype. You know what I'm saying? And then that's the name of the family that would go around harvesting worlds and just murdering everyone and turning them into pretty much adrenochrome. And then they were taking baths in it, and it kept them. They would jump in the bathtub. They hit it with electric while they're under the water or under this fluid made out of humans. And it would, when they came up out of it, they were youthful again. So they were living, 14, 15,000 years. And I believe these elites have technology like that. Maybe a little different, transferring consciousness through the eye socket with the black goo and all that. But definitely they have life extension technology.
And here I have their ideas were suppressed as heresy by the official church. Many Gnostic texts were destroyed during the Middle Ages. And so a lot of the things that we know about the Gnostics were written by the church fathers. So take that for what it is. They were writing about their enemies. So, you're going to get a filtered story. And it's interesting because a lot of these texts were discovered with the Nag Hammadi library in Egypt in 1945, and also the Dead Sea Scrolls.
That's what it was. The Nag Hammadi texts.
it's interesting because around this time was when I believe in 1947 was when Crowley, was it 47? I could
He
be getting
died
it
in
wrong.
47. 1946, Jack Parsons carried on
Yes.
Crowley's work. The Amalantra workings opened up that portal, and one of these little archons, remember Crowley manifested Lamb.
Yep.
Looks like a gray, which is one of the archons. It says one of the archons looks like a gray unborn fetus, and another one looks reptilian.
So the the archons in general, the rulers of the lower aeons, also called rulers, governors, authorities, guards, gatekeepers, robbers, toll collectors, detainers, judges, pitiless ones, adulterers, man-eaters, corpse eaters, fishermen, which I found interesting because you have the Anunnaki pictured as fish-headed men, fish-headed entities. Dagon, you have these, the Nomos, they come from the water. So I found that very interesting. Yaldabaoth is the chief archon. He created all the others. And according to the Apocrypha of John, there are 12 archons and their aeons comprising the lower archons. And this is how we get the different dimensions. So every single celestial orbit is a different dimension. And I tied this into Stanley Kubrick and the 2001 Space Odyssey. So the 7 heavenly archons are associated with the 7 planetary heavens. 5 archons of the abyss are associated with the 5 subluminary realms created by earth, water, air, and fire intermixed into the ether. So they thought that every single feeling, every single element, every single different thing was a different archon, right? So they believe that all your feelings, if you felt and succumbed to greed or whatever it was, that was an archon that was controlling you. And in order to ascend with Gnosis, you needed to learn every single archon's name, because they say in order to control a demon, you need to know its name. But if your soul is transcending through that picture that I showed earlier, through these aeons, so you start here and you go up through the aeons, if you get caught in between any of this because you don't know one of the demon's names, you've succumbed to whatever that demon rules. Like if it's greed or lust or I don't know if sloth is one, whatever it is, the 7 deadly sins, it's the same thing, essentially. You were succumbed to that demon and you would be cast back down into reincarnation. And that's how you get the Ouroboros, the serpent eating its own tail.
So would the months of the year, like January being Janus, the double-headed god of the doorways that we're coming up on, that you can also see on this tablet as well, how they represent the 2 different faces, so it goes back even more ancient. Would Janus, Aquarius, like the months, be considered the archons in a sense?
The zodiac, essentially. Yeah, you could make that connection. I don't know if I have it broken down here.
Saturn's connected to Janus in January. I'm a Capricorn, and then you have different planets. They said Mars is a demon, and like how I always thought of it, you got Saturn, Kronos, he controls that reality, that matrix. Then you have Mars, which is another kind of like the multiverse, right? Like that, how that is. That's another world. And what my boy said, True Scrambler, he thinks Mars is a world that met its fate already. And what we call demons here are these disembodied spirits from Mars. It's actually very interesting. He did a whole presentation on it.
I've interviewed Joseph Lumpkin, and he wrote a book, The Origins of Evil, and he says the same thing about this, but that the reason that God flooded the world and killed all, the Nephilim and the giants and the Elohim and all these things, that what's left, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed. So by him wiping out all these entities, those are the demons that we're experiencing now. They're still mad. They're mad that he destroyed them. So they're, wreaking havoc now in our times. And that's how you get demonic possessions, because they want to experience they had a body and they want to occupy a body. And that's how you get demonic possessions and all this stuff. So
yeah, they said that especially Yaldabaoth, he can interfere in this reality through people's minds. And like a lot of the people running the world, they're being influenced by these archons, and they're actually doing rituals and summoning them down out of the ether, really the 8th sphere, the astral realm, bringing them, because you have a lot of them archons in the 8th sphere, the astral realm. And my buddy True Scrambler believes that's where these disembodied spirits are from. He calls the others. If you
Mhm.
ever watched The Fifth Wave, remember the walk-ins, the others?
Mhm.
Did you ever see that one? The
I
Fifth
didn't
Wave?
see that one. Did you, Donut?
Oh, it's great.
I'm not sure.
The
Probably. I
aliens
watch a
invade.
lot of stuff.
The first wave they hit them with, Donut, was a natural disaster, waves, tsunamis, and then the second wave was this pandemic, this like bird flu, influenza, and then
Mhm.
the third wave, it was kind of symbolizing the rapture because they stole all the kids, and then they put this chip in the kids to make it was either in their helmet or in their head. It made them see normal people. It made them look like they were possessed by this alien when really they weren't. So they had them going out killing their own friends when they were just survivors of this invasion.
And what is it? What movie is that?
It's called The Fifth Wave. It's fire, bro. It came
What
out in
the heck?
2016, I think.
Crazy. So I
There's
have
this movie that got to check out. I told Juan about it. Something in the Dirt. It's pretty dope. It's
We're
not
still
like
shilling that movie, bro.
yeah, it's I'm still
You told me
shilling it.
about it too. I haven't seen it yet.
It's one of those movies that it's not like great where it's like, yo, you gotta
It's the
check it.
message.
But it stuck with me after watching it. Kind of like
Let's
one
do
of those.
a show on it, bro.
Okay.
No, you know what you guys need to watch? I'm telling you, it'll blow your mind. Apple TV's Foundation. I just started watching it today. I binge watched it. It's about this family that runs the world, and it's called Dawn, Day, and I think Evening or something. But it's all the same guy. So it's his clone as a child, and then the middle chair is his clone like around 30, and then it's him when he's like in his 60s, and them are the three. They're called Empire, and they run everything, all these different planets, and it's all about cloning. So all the elites in it, they all have mad clones of themselves.
Yeah.
It's
It's like
pretty
some
crazy.
altered carbon. Yeah.
It's
And
even
like
deeper than that.
I'm looking at it now, and the symbol of it is the sun cross, too. So that's a symbol that I've been really diving deep into
Let me
research
show
with.
you something too, Donut, because I kept some symbols on it.
It also looks like Ethereum, the crypto Ethereum.
And the owl is in the gateway. Where did I keep them symbols at? I know I downloaded. Okay, here we go. Right here. Okay, so first let me show you them all in the clones, because I'm going to decode this for my people. It's so crazy. Okay, so first of all, this is the I think this was the first episode, the Empire of Peace. And you see here the women, these are all the clones. They're coming out throwing down the sacred feminine, and then the males are coming out throwing up the sacred masculine. You see that shit?
Illuminati confirmed.
Right.
Hold on, I got
So
you, bro.
the sacred feminine, sacred masculine. And then you have
Illuminati confirmed.
Illuminati confirmed. And then we have I caught this just as them clones are coming out, you can see the owl symbol at the bottom corner of the gate. And you know, Donut, we talk about the owl a lot, the superb owl bowl, Super Bowl. And even this kind of looks like the owl a little, but right there you see it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So there's secret societies built on this.
That symbol, if you go back to it, that sun cross where it's the four corners in the middle, that symbol I've been diving deep on right now, because I think that there's going to be some sort of portal event at the four corners. And one-on-one elaborated that it's bigger than just the four corners in our last podcast, that it goes into the 12 devil trapeziums, the devil triangles, how there's 12 of them all throughout the world, which goes into those 12 archons as well, sort of.
Look at this little Baphomet child. This is the young one, and he's throwing up the Baphomet right here, which you see they make Jesus do it now, but
my computer looks like it. Oh no, it's good.
Did you see it? And then if you see them all side by side, it's just crazy, bro. They're like, it's right here.
What show is that, bro?
It's called Foundation on Apple. If you don't have Apple, I'll give you my shit. You can watch it on there because it's worth it, dude. Look at that.
Apple TV be going hard with their stuff. They got that show that was directed by Ben Stiller with the goo coming out of everybody.
Oh, yeah. Surveillance or something? Servant?
Yes. Yep. And
I decoded it.
And they got Ted Lasso as well about soccer. But
I watched that because of you.
They bring up the Knights Templar all throughout that show. The day they do their sacrifice is on November 18th. And it goes deep with subtle symbolism in it. The guy studying the Knights Templar throughout the whole show and talking about it.
Donut, did you see the last video we did? It had over 400 shares overnight. And then they took it down because I seen on your page you shared it and it was gone. I'm like, how is this gone? So I went back and they took it down. And they said for spam because I shared a link in the comments. So I will never do that again.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to make the tiny URLs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just so they can censor us. We got a lot of comments in here. Yo, Tommy. Yo, Donut. F movies. Yeah, I've got y'all hip to that. That's owned by Putin, though. Don't ever log into that shit. They'll have all your fucking identity. I'm telling you. But
So
I got
I'm pretty new to the Archon research, so I'm really.
So let me talk about. So I brought up the Anunnaki because the Anunnaki were the seven Anunnaki, the seven gods of decree. And you can relate that to the seven archons. A lot of people talk about them being archons. You have the eagle here. They're like giants. They have you look at this cow or whatever. They're super, super small compared to them. And I have here the hierarchy of the archons. The hierarchy of the archons, powers, and angels emerges with 360 or 365 angels in all. And this is from the Apocrypha of John. And the archons created 7 powers for themselves. And the powers created for themselves 6 angels for each one until they became 360 or 365 angels. So that's how you get the 365 degrees of the horizon because of the archons, according to the Gnostic cosmology.
We used to go by 360-day year solar calendar, and then Rome changed it to 365.
Yep.
Remember, it said it'll change the laws in the times of the Most High, and they changed it to 365. Which, Donut, you said something before on that, didn't you? Ain't them? What are them days called? The extra 5 days? Was that you that told me about that?
Yeah, I that wasn't me, but I know what you're talking about. But also with the whole days
or I forget something.
So, do you think these archons? I mean, you go all the way back to the Anunnaki, but like we have today, these different months and these different gods for the different months. For example, the show Wednesdays for Odin, and Odin is Santa Claus or connected to Santa Claus. So are these the same archons with different names?
I believe to an extent. I do. I think because if you look into y'all debate off, it's Yahweh, it's Enlil. So you see how like Enlil is Thor, Enlil is Jupiter, Enlil is Zeus. This motherfucker got like 20 different names, but it's just different nations calling them the same thing.
Yeah. I think that it's the same thing where you see the transformation, the evolution of the oldest known literature. Right now we're learning about it from a Gnostic, an early Christian lens. So these names are in a Greek. They're all inspired by the guys before them, but it all essentially comes out of Sumer, where if you follow mainstream history, that's the oldest civilization that we know of. Again, if you follow we can all agree that history, the people in charge of it, it's all a lie. It's all bullshit. So again, but I do believe that these gods continue even till this day, today. And I have towards the end, I'm going to relate it. I'm going to tie it all up for you guys and give you my point of view where I think that they're using the media, they're using these movies especially to pump this stuff out. And these gods, these gods exist in our language. I mean, when we talk Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Thursday, why are we invoking gods of other religions, which and essentially go back to the archons? So we're invoking, the word grammar comes from grimoire.
Yep.
So our language is a spell. In movies, they have a casting person. They have a person who looks for these. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all in the language, dude. It's crazy. So I do 100% believe that.
Juan calls them
Cinemagicians, absolutely. So
That's
right
what
here we
made me
have.
find you, Juan. I read your post on that, and I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
So I got to talk to this dude.
And
Each
these
of the-
movies are so deep, like that Jupiter Ascending movie, how they named it the Abraxas family, and this is going straight back to these archons. Like, they do the heavy research, and you can see the symbols. The interesting thing is what I've been enjoying is going back to the 90s and watching movies like Edward Scissorhands or looking at the symbols because
me too.
Recently, I learned through Juan about the Bach Tower and the tower symbolism, how all these wizards had a tower so they could study the stars. They had an advantage over the ground. But even in the show Edward Scissorhands, they got a tower at the top of the clone characters at the bottom that were just
rewatch that, man. That was about cloning, wasn't it?
I'm not sure if it was about cloning. I was just calling them clones because it was that cookie cutter personality.
Like dystopia,
it like a bunch of clones.
What it was about.
But also what I connected with this mountain, because this sun cross symbol, the four corners, in the middle of it is a mountain. It's a volcano. It's that's where a pyramid comes from, like on the back of the dollar bill. And I was thinking about Six Flags Magic Mountain, because Juan did this beautiful breakdown on Disneyland in Florida. Disneyland, if you look at it from the top, there's a key, but it also has the Hyperborea, four corners, this sun cross symbolism in the middle. And right in the middle of that goes back to Hyperborea or the Black Rock, which has this volcano in the middle, which is this mountain. So the tower, the tower, the mountain is important for the magic. And I was thinking, just to add on to that research, is that at Disneyland, you got a mountain, right?
Space
Mountain, but also the other mountain too, where the Yeti's in.
Dude, our whole reality's laid out in like a spell. It's crazy when you really look at it.
But Six Flags also was called Magic Mountain, and that was in California. And this is in front of Magic Mountain. That's where the dude from Fast and Furious died in the mysterious car crash. Yeah.
Wow. So Florida is at the core of a lot of the stuff because it's one of the tips of the Bermuda Triangle. So I think that these elites, these elites know this and they use it to their advantage, and they know where these ley lines cross and all these energetic points cross at, and they use that in order to either harvest energy or put energy out. And I mean, Disney, name a more powerful company than Disney that's grown, and they have it on the both pillars of the United States, California and Florida. And in Florida, Orange County has Disney World. In California, Orange County has Disneyland. So it's
look at the parallels they're on. And Disney World and Disneyland are their own sovereign nation. You know that? Like the Vatican.
Yeah.
No, I swear to God.
Yeah, they have their own fire department and all that stuff. They have their own zip
They have their own
codes.
money, their own everything.
Everything, bro.
They do. Yes, they got their own
pedophiles, everything. You know,
it's a simulacrum.
Yeah, I was looking at that money that they've printed to look for the occult symbols, but the thing I've been looking into, which after later in the show I could show, that the key symbolism that you see, let's say from an aerial view of the Vatican or Disneyland, this key symbolism shows up in some crazy world events that is it's wild.
And so
it says, I was looking at like the numerology of it all. You guys know I had to go down that rabbit hole, and they had all these different kinds. Like they said, the mantid, the insectoids that we see in Men in Black, and then you had that, which are the praying mantis ones. You have the even, everybody thinks, oh, I'm a Palladian, but they say they're part of the whole Archon thing. And the Greys, which on my channel, I'll show you guys in a second.
And if you notice in that Jupiter Ascending movie, the Greys are doing the bidding of the Archons, right? They're like
they're under the reptilians.
Yes.
So would they be the Aeons? Is that what it's saying? That the Archons have a lower fraction?
No, so Aeons is a different reality. So the upper Aeons is the metaphysical, the different frequency. The lower is the material that we can perceive. So the Aeons is just a higher dimension and a lower dimension. That's why in the Greeks they believe that this dimension, Plato and the theory of forms was a reflection of a more divine realm, because Plato inspired the Gnostics. So there, Plato was the one that came up with the term demiurge. He's the one that brought forth this idea of there being some central power that's ruling everything. And the Gnostics just took
daemons.
Like daemon is either good or bad.
Daemon. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Zeus is daemon.
Also, that Men in Black movie, very interesting. That where they do the light, because these purple lights, they're popping up everywhere up here in Arizona. They're all over the place. And in that movie, Men in Black, they flash a light and it erases their brain and they put new memories in. Mm-hmm. Well, when that movie came out, that is provable today on optogenetics, that they could actually do that. Maybe not with like something that flashes, but with like a neural link or going into a brain and shining an LED light, they can change memories and all that.
What about the flicker rate in our TVs and computers that actually attacks your central nervous system? And there's a patent on it, dude.
Right. So
patent on it.
So that with the phones and the LED lights everywhere, who knows what's going on? There's endless possibilities of.
We're getting blast. I want to show you guys something real quick, Juan, and then I'll let you get back to screen. I just got to show you guys this. Share screen. Hold on 1 second. Okay, here we go. So, I decoded it. I wanted to see what the numbers were. So, Archons equals 33 in reduction, matching elemental. And elemental are magical entities who embody and personify one of the 4 classical elements, right? And then if you get down here, remember the Chitauri, which are like this reptilian entity from Africa, and Chitauri is 44 in reduction, matching fallen angel. And then the Greys is 44. So fallen angel 44, Chitauri 44. And then in Revelation 16, it said, then I saw 3 evil spirits that looked like frogs. They came out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the false prophet, out of the mouth of the beast. They are spirits of demons performing miracles and signs, and they go out to the kings of the whole world, gathering them for the battle on the great day when the Most High comes back. And then in Avengers, that's what represented the Chitauri, the Archon symbolism, and we had the black sun symbolism when the portal opened up. So we always see these movies where portals open up and evil aliens come in trying to murder us. You ever notice that?
Right. And that's something I got some questions on later. I got some questions for you, Tommy, about the portals, because you've been documenting, you've seen orbs and you filmed it last month. And
what?
I just got another one too that I found that's mind-boggling, Donut. I'm gonna put it up later tonight.
I just had somebody comment right now on my YouTube talking about they sent me videos of orbs over the White House and next to the monuments because they watched the video that you and I did, Donut, with the monument, the reflection, and the different dimensions and all that stuff.
Yes. So that's why I got some questions.
They said there's a portal opened over the White House right now. That video was trending, bro. Like, some demonic shit's going on with that moron that's our president right now. And then look at this one. Okay, so guys, I changed my logo recently because green represents the heart chakra, and 51, if you see the 5-1, I'm always decoding the Illuminati, reptilians, and green and white is 51, right? So everything with me is numbers. That's just how my brain works. Reptilians is 51, and the Illuminati formed on 5-1. Then we have Area 51. The Sun Simulator is 51, matching Luciferianism. So they worship the holographic sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
That keeps us in illusion away from the spiritual sun, the soul inside of us. Shout out to my boy, the _spiritual shade room for that little info. And then 9/11, which was a massive loose energy harvest. 51, terror attack, Operation Paperclip. And if you look into Paperclip, Hitler was working with the Vril reptilians and
The
the
Hollow
UFOs
Earth.
and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty crazy that even numerically it all adds up. And I thought that was amazing. There's a whole blog over here on TommyTruthful369.com. And then guys, down in the links is all Juan's, or down in the description is all Juan's links, Doenut's links, and my links to all of our platforms. So if you want the screen back, or one of you guys need the screen.
Yeah, pull my stuff up and we'll do this real quick. And because this is really, again, it's a rabbit hole. I mean, there's so much to go and branch off of. So back to the 365, this is the number of angels together there at 365. They all worked on it, the body, until limb for limb, the natural and the material body was completed by them. So they're talking about how the demons in this apocrypha of John that comes from the Nag Hammadi Library and Dead Sea Scrolls, where each demon rules over a part of man's body and soul. So again, this goes back to, this is written down in these old scrolls that they found in these caves. So we have here their creation.
The leak project, he broke that shit down. I like him. You know, some people try to say, I've always liked him. I think he has very interesting shit. He's one of the first person I ever heard about the Anunnaki, the serpent versus the eagle, and how the serpent's really not the bad one. It's the eagle.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
Are you talking
Yahweh.
about Leak Project?
Yeah. You know, Rex.
Yeah. So I did a couple shows on a big podcast with him. And
did you? I'm such a fan, dude.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, I was kind of going like hard.
What up? It's Doenut.
Yo, what up? It's Doenut. What's up? You know what? This is what's going on, these secret societies. And I was saying how, because Jordan Maxwell would talk about the how the 3 world wars were predicted by Albert Pike. And I remember him telling me, Rex, that information was falsified, that he actually never did say that. And so I look at the letter.
He said it too.
What's up?
I always thought Albert Pike said that too about the 3
Because there's a
worlds.
letter to the mafia leader, and that's what Jordan Maxwell showed, and you can like see it. But Rex also was like saying, "Yo, like that story kind of." So that kind of stuck with me. I tried to look a little into it, but that's something that if other people have looked into to verify, I'm trying to figure that out.
Why Rex said that? Because I've seen the letter myself.
Yeah,
now,
but you know what?
Falsified?
I could be wrong though, because I get a lot of stuff wrong, and maybe I misunderstood what he was saying.
No. I do too. It happens. Like last time we were live, I said it bothers me still. I said I was breaking down Chernobyl and I called it Fukushima instead of Chernobyl, and that bothered me so bad.
But these numbers and these dates are connected, like Fukushima 311, right?
Yep. And then everything right now is connected to 86, which Nephilim is 86. You had Stranger Things 4, tetraphobia, the fear of the number 4. 4 is the number of death. And Stranger Things 4 comes out on 7/1. 4 days later, CERN breaks the world record in energy, right? And then Stranger Things 4 is taking place in 86. Everything going on with Ukraine, Chernobyl, Reactor 4 melted down in 86. That's what I was trying to say. But I said something about Fukushima. Oh, man.
That's interesting. Stranger Things, they show you all there's so much predictive programming in that, with war stuff like Russia versus America, and just the whole portal stuff.
Guess what it equals, though? Stranger Things equals 71. So they released the final episodes on 7/1, which Murder by Numbers is 71 too. Whore of Babylon, Giants on the Throne, I believe, is 71. I could be wrong about that one, but I know Horror Babylon definitely is.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
fiction is another dimension of history. I'm trying to find the quote that I have here, but that's why people have to pay attention to these movies, because it is, the subconscious bleeds into art, and then the art, the truth is stranger than fiction. So when they make these movies, like, oh, that's you can't, that's not real. Well, it is real, and then they want you to. So here I have this quote. It says, "History's third dimension is always fiction." So again, it's a different level of reality, because when they're writing these movies, essentially you are being dragged into somebody's world. And I'm reading this book called Maps of the Imagination, and how people they are put in like a trance-like state when they're reading these books, even if even if there's information that's being omitted. For example, like if there's a character that's being presented, you're not seeing what that character is doing when he's not being talked about by the author or whatever it is, but yet it's still a real world for people, and they get sucked into it. So by putting these movies out, you don't know what they're doing, when they go back to you ever sit there and think about what that character is doing when they weren't being focused on him? You know what I mean? Like, people don't think about that because they get so sucked into the movie, the fictional aspect of it, a movie that's created in a real world, because that's, what a set is. And people
life imitates art, and then they use the movies too, because it's universal law that they have to tell us what they're going to do. So that whole fiction word, which is a made up word anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think of Plato's stories and the stories of Atlantis, there was no fiction back then. So he was talking about something real, but we make this fiction word, and then we're like, oh no, that was just fiction. No.
And so we have here, let me see what we got. The Yaldabaoth, he had the power to create because he was created from Sophia, so he had a divine spark. And so like their creator Yaldabaoth, the Archons are androgynous. This ruler Yaldabaoth, by being androgynous, created for himself 7 offspring, androgynous just like their parent, and that's from the reality of the rulers. And so the Aeons.
One of his name is Sackless too. You know that?
No, I didn't.
MIL, Sackless, and Yaldabaoth Sackless, like ballless. I mean, that's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and Baphomet is a hermaphrodite. It's not man or a woman. It's both. So it's kind of like the same concept. And the Aeons, upper and lower, they're concentric circles. So they are emanationists. They believe that the upper eons emanated outward from the one which is at the center, the source, and the lower eons imitate the upper eons. Because remember, Satan can only imitate what God has made. So
he can't create himself. Neither could Yaldabaoth. And the 4 words that were connected to him. Not 4 again? Made in my image. That was connected to Yaldabaoth, which we were not made in his image, though. I wonder what them 4 words equal in gematria. Made in my image.
Or what is made in China equal, bro?
I don't know, but made in my image we should look at.
That sigil's on everything, bro.
That is on everything made in China. I'm going to look at made in my image real quick.
So the upper eons, the lower eons, Yaldabaoth emanates outward because he's the creator of it, and you have a boundary, right? The veil between the 2 upper and lower eons, and I think that's where, in reality, that you have these places, the 12 vial vortices that I talked about with Doenut. That's what these places, I believe, are where these 2 realities, or more than 2, they commingle, and the veil is thinner, so people are able to manifest things, or things are able to come in through here, some sort of a portal. And
what's going on right now, I think the veil is at its thinnest, bro. Oh my God. You know what made in my image is, bro? 119, like all-seeing eye.
Wow.
That's a big one too in English ordinal 1. Oh my God. In standard, it's 911. And then in capitals mixed, it's 238. From the earth to the moon is 238,000 miles. And after JFK was killed, Lyndon Johnson was sworn in on Air Force One at 2:38 p.m. So, oh,
Interesting.
and in Men in Black, the 2012 one, their license plate is 238.
Yeah, and 238, you plus it together, right? That's 13, I believe, and 13 is huge. If you look at like
Yep.
the sigils of the 13 stars, 13 original colonies, there's a lot of 13 symbolism. So I mean, even that, I think
That's
that's
pretty.
13238.
Yes,
Yes.
the 12 disciples plus one, which is Jesus or whoever you want to accept, and that's the number 13. So a lot of people think, oh, it's an unlucky number. Well, it's actually the most lucky because the 13th zodiac symbol is the Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. So you have a lot of different things, and there's different levels of initiation. Some have 13. So the 13 plays a
Friday the
big role
13th,
into it.
Knight Templar. They were all
What is made
burnt.
in China equal, bro?
Huh?
What is made in China equal?
Oh, I didn't look. Hold on, let me look.
Come on, bro. The people want to know what it equals.
I was shocked by this damn made in my image. 119, 911, and 238. Three of the biggest and most powerful vibrational numbers. 137 is the only other one. So let's see. Made in
China.
Hold on, I got you, bro.
made in
China. 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 China.
Made in China.
Okay, let's see here. Why do I feel like I spelled China wrong? Because I probably did. Hold on a second. Let me fact check myself. Spelling is not my big forte.
But
Nope, I
even
spelled it right.
like
China. I don't know why that looked wrong to me. Made in China is 81 in ordinal matching ritual, and it's stamped on fucking everything. Let's see what else. 81's a big one, though. Oh, 54, which is Jesuit order. And remember the movie They Live? Channel 54 News sent out the frequency, keeping the masses asleep. And then you have 216, which is 6 times 6 times 6. 33 in Sepentry. It's got all occultic numbers in it, made in China.
Interesting. Okay.
Very
So
occultic.
it's literally on almost everything that we own. So just keep that in mind. And
There's
we have
something with that.
the creation of the lower aeons. It's the description of the lower aeons as a corpse. Whoever has come to know the world has found a corpse, and that's the Gospel of Thomas. As darkness and abyss. So they're talking about our reality. And he revealed himself to those who dwell in darkness, and he showed himself to those who dwell in the abyss. And there's always the angel of the abyss. You have CERN built on an Apollo temple, which is from the abyss, right? He will be given the key. Don and I talked about the key symbolism at Disney, at the Vatican, at all these different places. The key symbolism. We have.
which goes into the gateways and all that, and the portals, the key to open the door.
Yeah, and we have here, this is where the Ouroboros comes from. As darkness and a tail-eating dragon. The outer darkness is a great dragon whose tail is in his mouth, outside the whole world, and is surrounding the whole world. And that's from the Pistis Sophia, chapter 126, and that's where we get the Ouroboros symbolism from the Gnostics, which was one of their symbols. And I mean, it goes way back, but that's where we get it from. And so eventually...
Hey, you see what they said? Pinocchio is all about homunculus. Pinocchio is not a pedophile. Yeah.
Yes. And
pedophilia. Pedolite. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched it. And it was it's a different take on Pinocchio. Let's just say that it's very, very esoteric and very weird. So we have here the destruction of the Archons. They will finally destroy themselves in fire, and then the sun will become dark, and the moon will cause its light to cease. The stars of the sky will cancel their circuits, and the lower ions will collapse, and the luminous fire which created the Archons will also destroy them. So we have the final destruction of them. For the end will be where the beginning is. And I wanted to talk about it and bring it into modern day in these movies, because this is played into the Stanley Kubrick 2001 Space Odyssey. And I showed this to Doenut the other night, where this alchemical text, which is Heinrich Kunrath, I think is his name, the alchemist that created this plate. It's called The Entrance to the House of Mysteries. Now, I did a decode on Star Wars the other day, and the exhaust port scene where they destroy the Death Star, which I link it to an alchemical flask, looks eerily similar to this, and I overlaid them both, and they both match up. But I also saw this.
You want to know what this symbolizes too? People probably don't even think about it. The Anus, which all portal symbolism is connected to sodomy. I promise you.
So you're talking about, like, okay, so you're talking about sodomy and
for sure.
No, but it is. I promise.
Donut's like,
what represents the Anus? It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, and like Anus, Anunnaki, and this is something that I find very fascinating, and I want to know more about.
Yo, Tommy, you got to put us in touch with your blog writer that talked about what I've dubbed the Sodomic time travel, where he was talking
That's my
about.
boy, True Scrambler.
We need to have him on because I need to ask him some questions. I want to be able to find.
Hey, TrueScrambler.com. Shout out to Gabe. He's amazing, ain't he, bro?
Well, I need to know his sources, bro, because me and Doenut the other night were like, yo, what is going on? Like, how is this dude talking about this stuff? And I'm not able to find anything on it, but it's a very interesting concept.
Are you talking about Gabe?
No, I'm talking about when he wrote about the how the anal penetration equals time traveling, or like a trance or something like that. And
dude, I have tons of shit on it, and the numbers line up with it. 33
Really?
is okay. For example, panda eyes, which they say comes from ritualistic sodomy, right? It bursts the capillaries in the eyes. Panda eyes equals 33. When you do the Key of Solomon ritual, it releases the Kundalini prematurely up to 33 vertebrae.
Mm-hmm.
So the 33 numbers connected to ritualistic sodomy. That symbol, this symbol right here on the screen, that's a sodomy symbol, bro. Just like the power symbol. I'll send you a bunch of info on it.
I want to edit that video because that is fascinating. I mean, all the religions, all the stuff like goes back to a lot of sex rituals and stuff like that in the symbolism. With the let's say the Chanel logo, right, which is the Vesica Pisces, in the phallic symbols. So I would love to go do a deep dive into that.
I'm about to show Juan, one of the guys you can follow, Juan, that has some really interesting. It's Gabe's homeboy. He has deep shit on this. Hold on a second. Where is, okay, let me put time travel.
Yeah, because that blew my wig back, bro.
So when you're saying the key, because this is something that, I've been looking into a lot with the key, you were saying that that's connected to sex too?
That's the phallus. The key
all connected to sex, bro.
Is the phallus. Yeah, that's the, and the keyhole is obviously, either.
Hey, Juan. This one's really lit too. The Maze Runner connected to the Archons.
Yeah, I think is that the one where they're locked up in like this prison and they have to do these games to escape?
Ratman, face of the wicked. Remember, the people that control the world are called wicked. And Thomas and the gladiators equals humanity. Ratman and his crew, yeah, this dude Gabe is an amazing writer, and he backs all of his shit up with numerology. He's amazing at gematria too. And people lie, numbers don't.
I lack on the gematria side. I don't know really anything about that.
Well, we'll get you up on that. Don't you worry. It's called the flare virus in here, and that's connected to the what. And then the sunspot ravaging Earth is the climate change hoax. The cranks, the zombies, represent the gray aliens. The divergent humans, the fallen timeline, represented by Mars, the walk-ins. But no, he's reading occultic books. Like, he's gave me so many good books to read on this stuff. And he has all of his links in here. Like Gigi, this girl from YouTube, she's fire. Remember I got you hip to her, Donut? Gigi?
Mm-hmm.
She does some good stuff on it. But no, I get it. When I first read this stuff about time travel and sodomy, I was like, what the hell is this all about?
Yeah.
I'm like, where did he come up with this? So, finally I got a hold of him, and because I didn't know that. I was a fan of this guy first. And then he liked my work too. So we started talking, and he got the information from an older gentleman.
Because it goes back to the recently the chess player that got accused of having a sex toy in his butt, and how maybe that unlocked some sort of energy within him to beat the grand master, the best player in the world, this underdog.
There you go.
You know, so,
and what'd you say about, remember when we were talking about Aleister Crowley and he was getting
Mm-hmm.
pounded from behind and he said he had the best, no, he was. And he said he had the best out-of-body experience and he met these entities. It unlocks something in you, dude.
Dude, what if he just likes it? I mean,
no, you're not just going to be, doing a seance and, hey, pound me from the back. Like,
you're pounding me, dude.
It's connected to something. You know
I can see the archons now. Keep going, bro.
I mean, he might have liked it, but it's definitely
bro, what a better way to get somebody to do something with you. Like, hey, dude, you want to summon a bunch of archons? They're like, yeah, dude, I want to do that. And then you just trick them, bro. You just trick them. He was using like reverse psychology.
But why is it in all the secret societies? Why are they all built on solid?
Because they got tricked too. They're like, dude, you want to unlock another portal, another dimension? And then when they find out, they're like, oh, you can't talk about it now, though. Okay, it's secret. So like the Mithraic mysteries, they were all dudes. They were all guys. So they're probably doing the same thing with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, the cakes of light that they talk about. So
I'll get you Gabe's info so you and him can have a talk. We'll bring him on.
Yeah, we have to get him on, bro. Because Doenut was
he's
asking
amazing,
me about it.
Though. He's such a nice dude too, bro. Like he's
and I couldn't figure it out. I was like,
look,
what
the
in
elite.
The world?
This is a good one. The elite want to reset time before the fall of Adam to kill Eve, and there's many occultic books on this. And they think that's what they're doing with CERN. And then I went and fact checked them. This symbol back here represents the Anus, and it's in that new what's that movie called? Damn, I just watched a movie that has it. Everybody they sit down in this chair to question them has that symbol behind them. It's on F movies.
That third eye, baby. You know what that is? That's not a third eye on your head. It's the one down below.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it is all. And you see it right here. Look, the Mandela pattern, the pillow above, the sneaky knot of CERN, which may be responsible for the Mandela effect we're experiencing right here, represents the Anus, the Great Reset, occult symbolism, and Philip Pullman's popular trilogy. He's giving you all the books to read and what to look into in it.
So moral of the story is you got to keep those cheeks tight around these reptilians, or else they're going to be trying to.
They're heavily into sodomy. And look at Amazon's symbol. It's a ball sack and a phallus. I mean, and then Anus is 55, matching Satan, matching Zion, matching Balenciaga.
Mm-hmm.
Who we know they love it. They got the little panda sitting there, the panda eyes, which represents the key of Solomon. You know what I'm saying?
Keep them cheeks tight, boy.
Yeah, you got to stay away from them reptiles, man. They're awesome. Links are in the description, guys, as well as Brother Donuts. But y'all know where to find Donut with all your Illuminati news.
Yeah, you can find me at the Juan Podcast, any social media platform. I am on YouTube until further notice. I don't go as hard in the paint as you guys, so they kind of sort of leave me alone and I fly under the radar sometimes. But you can find me on there. I'm on Rockfin, rockfin.com/the1podcast. I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/.
And we're gonna get them on Facebook.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna bite the bullet, bro. I'll see.
I mean, the Donut's got a huge following, and dude, you get so many. Facebook, I get way more views on Facebook than I do YouTube. So it's a great way to, I mean, they censor pretty bad, but what are you going to do? Get a Rumble too. So with that being said, thank you guys. We appreciate everyone being here. We love all you guys out there. Go over to TommyTruthful.com. Check it out. Check out Donuts and Juan's channel. Also go to Tommy Truthful 369, and we got a Christmas sale going on. Check that shit out. Truthful out.